Hello and welcome back to Neat Prep Go. So today we'll be starting a new chapter of biology, NCRT line by line explanation of strategies for enhancement in food production. So again, it's a very theoretical chapter and mostly you have to remember all the important points. So let's, without any further ado, get started. With ever increasing population of the world, enhancement of food production is a major necessity. Biological principles as applied to animal husbandry and plant breeding have a major role in our efforts to increase food production. Several new techniques like embryo transfer technology and tissue culture techniques are going to play a pivotal role in further enhancing of food production. Okay. So, with the continuous increasing of population in our world, enhancement of food production is a major necessity. And the biological principles as applied to animal husbandry and plant breeding have major role in our efforts to increase food production. So, animal husbandry as well as in plant breeding, all the biological principles applied, they have a major role in our efforts to increase food production. Several new techniques like embryo transfer technology and tissue culture techniques are going to play a pivotal role in further enhancing of food production. Now let's come to animal husbandry. Animal husbandry is the agricultural practice of breeding and raising livestock. What is animal husbandry? Animal husbandry is the agricultural practice of breeding and raising livestock. As such, it is a vital skill for farmers and is as much science as it is an art. Okay, so animal husbandry, what is animal husbandry? Agricultural practice of breeding and raising livestock. Breeding, that is mating, as well as raising, that is raising the livestock, that is your cows, buffaloes, all the living animals, domestic animals, that is from which you get that is your milk and all other products, okay, whether it be cotton, wool. Okay, so animal husbandry is the agricultural practice of breeding and raising livestock. As such, it is a vital skill for farmers and it is as much science as it is art. Animal husbandry deals with care of breeding of livestock like buffaloes, cows, pigs, horse, cattle, sheep, camel, goats, etc. that are useful to humans. Extended, it includes poultry farming and fisheries. So poultry farming and fisheries are also included in animal husbandry. Fisheries include the rearing, catching and selling of fish, mollusks, that is mollusca in animal kingdom, shellfish, crustaceans such as prawn, crab. Since time immemorial, animals like bees, silkworm, prawns, crabs, birds, pigs, cattle, sheep, camel have been used by humans for products like milk, eggs, meat, wool, silk, honey, etc. So, एनिमल हस्बेंड्री में बेसिकली क्या होता है? एनिमल हस्बेंड्री एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिस है ऑफ ब्रीडिंग, आप ब्रीड करोगे एनिमल्स के बीच में, एंड रेजिंग, उनको ये विद यू विल रेज देम, that is your livestock, and it is a vital skill for farmers and it is as much as science as it is art. Okay, so remember this line. Animal husbandry deals with the care of breeding of livestock. Kya what comes in those livestock? That is your buffaloes for their milk, cows also for their milk, pigs, pork, then horses, then cattle, sheep, camels, your wool and all, then camels for transporting of goods and all, goats also for milk. So basically these are all useful to humans in different ways. Extended animal husbandry also includes fisheries and poultry farming, that is poultry farming, chicken and hen eggs and all, and poultry farming and fisheries. So in fisheries include rearing, catching and selling of fish, mollusk, that is shellfish, and crustacean, prawn or crab. Since time immemorial, animals like bees, honey के लिए, silkworm, silk के लिए, prawn, crab, fishes, birds, pigs, cattle, sheep, camels have been used by humans for products like milk, egg, meat, wool, silk, honey, etc. So basically, animal husbandry, that is it is vital skill for farmers. It is done, that is breeding and raising of livestock, and it is and that is all these livestock, that is they are useful for humans. It is estimated that more than 70% of the world's livestock population is in India and China. So this is a very important line, and to be, it is estimated that more than 70% of the world's livestock, again sorry, so more than 70% of the world's livestock population is in India and China. However, it is surprising to note that the contribution to the world farm produce is only 25%. That is, the productivity per unit is very low. Hence, in addition to conventional practices of animal breeding and care, newer technologies have also been applied to achieve improvement in quality and productivity. So, even though that is the world's, you can say, 70% of livestock population is in India and China, still contribution to the world farm produce is only 25%, which is very less, right? If 70% of the livestock population is in India and China itself, then why only 25% of farm produce is contributed to the world? So productivity is basically very low. So since the productivity is very low, in addition to conventional practices of animal breeding and care, newer technologies have been applied to achieve improvement in quality and productivity. Management of farms and farm animals. A professional approach to what have been traditional practices of farm management gives the much needed boost to our food production. Let us discuss some of the management procedures employed in various animal farm systems. First is dairy farm management. Dairying is the management of animals for milk and its products for human consumption. So what is dairying? Dairying is the management of animals for milk and its products for human consumption. Can you list the animals that you would expect to find in a dairy? What are the different kinds of products that can be made with milk from a dairy farm? Okay, so what is dairy? First is dairy farm management. Dairying is the management of animals for milk and its products for human consumption. The animals that you would expect to find in a dairy: cows, buffaloes, buffalo milk, then cow milk, then um, goat milk. What are different kinds of products that can be made with milk? Cheese, then all your farm products: cheese, butter, uh, cream. So in dairy farm management, we deal with processes and systems that increase yield and improve the quality of milk. So in dairy farm management, we deal with processes and systems that increase yield and improve quality of milk. So yield, that is how much is made per year, it will increase, and the quality will also increase. Milk yield is primarily dependent on the quality of breeds in the farm. So milk yield primarily will be dependent on the kind of breed, that is uh, of the livestock. So selection of good breeds have high yielding potential under the climatic conditions of the area. So basically, perfect example, if you live in a place wherein, let's say, you have always lived in a coastal region, okay, so there has never been like too hot or too cold, and suddenly I put you in a place wherein there are extreme temperatures, then you won't be that happy, or you would be very uncomfortable, or you would, if it is very cold, then you would keep falling sick very fast, and like always having cold. Or if it's very hot, then you'll always be irritated, and so basically overall your productivity will decrease. So in the kind of environmental condition you are in, because half is genetics, the other half, everyone is influenced, all organisms are influenced by the environment, right? All human beings are also influenced by the environment. If you are in an environment which is very enriching, then you will accordingly adapt. So you might become outspoken or something like that. But if you move to a place wherein there is not much of a social interaction, not many people of your age, then slowly you will become more introverted, or if it is your growing age. So basically, That's what it is saying, that milk yield is primarily dependent on the quality of breeds, but more than that, those quality of breeds should also be in a good condition. That is, selection of good breeds having high yielding potential under the climatic conditions of the area combined with the resistance to its diseases is very important. For the yield potential to be realized, the cattle have to be well looked after. So okay, it is primarily dependent on the breed, but if I get, let's say now, if I get a very good breed, let's say, which gives very high quality milk, but it only survives in extreme cold conditions or extreme hot conditions, and I put it somewhere wherein the climatic conditions are not being satisfied, or it needs very good maintenance and regular, checkup and good quality of food to produce good yield. So, whereas I'm not giving it, I'm starving the livestock, then obviously, even though it is the best breed, it won't give us that good quality. So for high yielding potential, that is selection of good breeds having high yielding potential under the right climatic conditions combined with resistance to diseases is very important. For the yield potential to be realized, the cattle have to be well looked after, they have to be housed well, they should have adequate water and be maintained disease free. अदरवाइज अब आप सबसे अच्छा कैटल लेके आओगे कहीं फ्रॉम सम अदर कंट्री, एंड देन यू विल रियलाइज दैट you are not maintaining it well, you are not giving it good food, you are not giving it water, and you are just keeping it just like that, and उसके बाद फिर सारे diseases भी होंगे, and then the quality of milk will also go bad, and everything will be going downhill, and still you will say that acha, this is the best breed, and yield completely depends on breed. So basically, and even though the climatic condition is not suiting, still you can't expect to get good yield, because all for that particular good quality breed to give high yield milk, it is very necessary to have appropriate climatic conditions, resistance to the diseases, that is, be well looked after, uh, well housed, adequate water should be given, good food should be given, and maintained disease free. Only then you will have high yielding milk. The feeding of cattle should be carried out in a scientific manner with special emphasis on the quality of and quantity of fodder. Besides stringent cleanliness and hygiene, both of the cattle and the handlers are of paramount importance while milking, storage and transport of milk and its products. Nowadays, of course, much of these processes have become mechanized, which reduces chance of direct contact of the produce with the handler. Ensuring that these stringent measures would of course require regular inspections with proper record keeping. It would also help to identify and rectify the problems as early as possible. Regular visits by a veterinary doctor would be mandatory. Okay, so yeah, so again let's go through the entire part again. Dairy farm management. Dairying is the management of animals for milk and its products for human consumption. So in dairy farm management, we deal with processes and systems which increase the yield and improve the quality of milk. The milk yield is primarily dependent on the breed of the quality of the breed in the farm. Now, selection of good breeds having high yielding potential under the climatic conditions of under the climatic conditions of the area combined with resistance to diseases. For the yield potential to be realized, the cattle should be well looked after, has to be housed well, should have adequate water, maintained disease free. Feeding should be also carried out in a scientific manner, that is, with emphasis to the quantity and the quality of fodder. Then stringent cleanliness and hygiene of the cattle and the handlers should be there. And nowadays all of these things is happening in a very mechanized way, that is with the help of machines and all. Also therefore that is the products and the livestock and the handler, like direct contact is still very is slowly becoming very less, but still it would help to identify and rectify the problems as early as possible. If that is if there is some kind of malfunction in the entire process, and because of this, regular inspections, and to ensure the cleanliness and hygiene conditions, it is regular visits by a veterinary doctor, that is all these things are necessary. So these are basically very basic things. Okay, for अगर पूरा पैरा ऐसे रटने के बजाय अगर you have to remember it then point by point just understand like if okay so dairy from the word it's related to something related to milk and its products, right? So management of animals for milk and its products for human consumption is basically dairying. Then what is most important, that is what do we get? Milk. So the milk you should be of high yield and good quality. For it to be high yield and good quality directly किस पे depend करेगा? The quality of breeds in the farm. Quality of breeds कैसे अच्छे quality of breed से अच्छा मिल्क आएगा? Provided that अच्छा breed है जो उसको हम कैसे रखेंगे? That is suitable climatic conditions पे रखेंगे, उसको disease free रखेंगे, उसको अच्छे से खाना देंगे, खाना का क्वालिटी क्वांटिटी सब चेक करेंगे फॉडर का, उसको एडिक्वेटली वाटर देंगे, फिर उनके वेटनरी चेकअप्स कराएंगे रेगुलरली मैकेनाइज्ड वे में थ्रू मशीन्स, that is newer technologies. With the help of machines we will do the entire process of milking and then that is um storing and the transport of milk and its products, and all that is throughout the entire process cleanliness and hygiene maintain करके रखेंगे, and ensuring these stringent measures है या नहीं can be done by regular inspections with proper record and keeping, and all of this would help us to identify and rectify problems as early as possible. Okay, now we come to poultry farm management. Poultry, again word suggests fowl, that is bird, chicken, hen, वो सब domesticated fowl. So poultry is the class of domesticated fowl birds used for food for their eggs. Okay, so dairy में हमें milk और milk के products चाहिए थे, यहाँ पे हमें अंडे चाहिए. Poultry is the class of domesticated fowl birds used for food or for their eggs. Directly आप chicken खा सकते हो, नहीं तो उनके अंडे खा सकते हो. They typically include chicken and ducks, sometimes turkey and geese. So the word poultry is often used to refer the meat of only these birds, but in a more general sense it may refer to the meat of other birds too. As in dairy farming, selection of disease-free and suitable breeds, proper and safe farm condition, proper feed and water and hygiene and healthcare are important components of poultry farm management too. तो जैसे डेयरी में जो जो चीज़ें important थी कि हाइजीनिक रहना चाहिए, मैकेनाइज्ड वे में सब कुछ होना चाहिए, फिर डिजीज फ्री रखने चाहिए, अच्छे से उनको खाना देना चाहिए, पानी देना चाहिए, all those things are important in poultry management too. And poultry management is a class of domesticated fowl, domesticated birds used for food directly or for their eggs. Typically that is what all do they include? Poultry farm management includes firstly chicken, then ducks, sometimes it might also include turkey and geese. And word poultry is often used to refer meat of only these birds, but here NCRT has written that in a more general sense it can refer to other birds also. जो जो खाते हैं आपको तो पता ही होगा. So like lot of other anyways, let's not go there. You may have seen TV news or read newspaper reports about the bird flu virus. Yeah, I was actually going over here only, which created a scare in the country and drastically affected egg and chicken consumption. Find out more about whether was justified. How can we prevent the spread of the flu in the cases? Okay. So we'll find that out later. Animal breeding. Breeding of animals is an important aspect of animal husbandry. Breeding of animals is an important aspect of animal husbandry. Animal breeding aims at increasing. Why is the line slanting? Okay. Breeding of animals is an important aspect of animal husbandry. Animal breeding aims at increasing the yield of animals and improving the desirable quantities of the produce. For what kind of characters would we breed animals? Would the selection of characters differ with the choice of animals? Animal breeding. Breeding of animals is an important aspect of animal husbandry. Yes, breeding of animals is an important aspect of animal husbandry. Animal breeding aims at increasing the yield of animals and improving the desirable qualities of the produce. Then, uh, for for what kind of characters would we breed animals? So, let's say there is some kind of genetic condition. We want that all our produce should be, that is, for our more produce, more yield, you need the the livestock, okay, to be healthy, right? So firstly, that is disease resistant, then, or disease free. So after that, would the selection of characters differ with the choice of animals? Yes. If we need that is good quality of milk or good quality of egg. So obviously, why in during animal breeding, different selection of characters differs with the choice of animals. Yes. What do we understand by the term breed? A group of animals related by descent and similar in most characters like general appearance, features, size, configuration, etc. are said to belong to a breed. So you know Pomeranian, German Shepherd, Golden Retriever, Pugs, they are all dog breeds, right? So how do we say that, okay, this is a particular breed? A group of animals related by descent and similar in most characters like general appearance, features, size, configuration, etc. are said to belong to a breed. So Pomeranians are always going to be very noisy and very vocal, whereas your pugs are always going to be very friendly and very quiet and calm. There are exceptions, of course. It depends, like as I said, environmental conditions also, but mostly golden retrievers are going to be very friendly and very happy all the time and very you can say hyperactive, playful, good with kids. So Siberian Husky always needs AC and can't survive that well in Indian conditions. Your Indian Pariya dog, it can eat whatever it wants. It is very um, resistant to everything only. So best is to adopt a stray dog. So all these are different breeds, and each breed that is has that is the entire breed is a group of animals which are they are all related by descent, and they are similar in most characters. Like all the Pomeranians or all the golden retrievers, they all have something in common, which is why they will be different than the other breed, right? So general appearance, feature, size, configuration, etc. Find out the names of some common breeds of cattle and poultry in the farms of area. We'll read ahead, like in examples. So when breeding is between animals of the same breed, it is called as inbreeding. When breeding occurs between animals of the same breed, this is very important, then it is called as inbreeding. Okay, so when two German Shepherds breed and the German Shepherd is born, then it is inbreeding. Between animals of the same breed, then it is called as inbreeding. While crosses between different breeds is called as outbreeding. So breeding between two animals of the same breed is inbreeding, and that is crossing between different breeds. That is breeding of two animals of different breeds is called as outbreeding. So inbreeding refers to the mating of more closely related individuals with the same breed for 4 to 6 generations. So you might have heard pure bred बहुत बोलते हैं. So why do they say pure bred? Because 4 to 6 generations, that is mating has been done between that is the same, that is inbreeding has been done, and therefore we call it pure bred. Like कोई mixing matching कुछ नहीं है, कभी भी outbred नहीं किया गया है पिछले 10 generation से. So it is pure bred. So you get all the characteristics of that particular without, and if it is a purebred, then it's there are many advantages as well as disadvantages to it. We'll read ahead. So inbreeding. Inbreeding refers to the mating of more closely related individuals within the same breed for 4 to 6 generations. Inbreeding refers to the mating of more closely related individuals within the same breed for 4 to 6 generations. The breeding strategy is as follows. Superior males and superior females of the same breed are identified and mated in pairs. So superior males and superior females of the same breed are identified and mated in pairs. The progeny obtained from such matings are evaluated, and superior males and females among them are identified for further mating. A superior female in the case of cattle is the cow or buffalo that produces more milk per lactation. So what is the definition of superior female? In the case of cattle, that is the cow or buffalo that produces more milk per lactation is called as the superior female. On the other hand, superior male is the bull, which gives rise to superior progeny as compared to those of other males. Now try to recollect the homozygous pure lines developed by Mendel as discussed in chapter 5, Inheritance and Variation. A similar strategy is used for developing pure lines in cattle as was used in the case of peas. Inbreeding increases homozygosity. Thus, inbreeding is necessary if we want to evolve a pure line in any animal. Yes, inbreeding exposes harmful recessive genes that are eliminated by selection. This is what I was talking about. So basically, when someone says pure bred, that means all that is for the past, that is more than at least 4 to 6, that is 10 generations, pure bred, inbreeding होते जा रहा है होते जा रहा है होते जा रहा है. So that is two, every time that is inbreeding occurs, that is two pure lines are completely being bred. So then there is no variation basically. So recessive genes get in inbreeding, homozygosity increases, and recessive genes, harmful recessive genes, get exposed because both of them might be having one recessive, and both the pure lines, that is when they again mate, then their progeny will get complete recessive. Then again the recessive will mate, again it will give recessive only. So those harmful recessive genes which can carry like autosomal recessive diseases and all, they all get uh, what can you say, they all get exposed. So and it also helps in accumulation of superior genes and elimination of less desirable genes. Therefore, this approach where there is selection at each step increases productivity of inbred population. However, continued inbreeding, especially close inbreeding, usually reduces fertility and even productivity, and this is called as inbreeding depression. Whenever this becomes a problem, selected animals of the breeding population should be mated with unrelated superior animals of the same breed. This usually helps to restore fertility and yield. Okay, so in inbreeding, that is inbreeding, it increases homozygosity. Okay, so thus inbreeding is necessary if we want to evolve a pure line in any animal. So homozygosity, that is same that is homozygous allele. Okay, homozygosity, same ye traits, characters. Thus, inbreeding is necessary if we want to evolve a pure line in any animal. Inbreeding exposes harmful recessive genes that are eliminated by selection. So, what happens is, by inbreeding, you can know that is harmful recessive genes directly. You can know, जैसे कि in principles of inheritance and variation in monohybrid cross, that is when first that is a two homozygous alleles, that is one tall capital T and another small t, when they were bred, then we got a tall plant. Okay, in that there was small t, it was heterozygous dominant. But when we selfed it again, then we got the recessive gene, that is the recessive gene got exposed in the F2 generation of monohybrid cross, that is small t. We got capital T, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, and small t. So we got 3:1 phenotypic ratio and 1:2:1 genotypic ratio. So over here also the same thing happens. Inbreeding increases homozygosity, and inbreeding is necessary if you want to evolve a pure line in any animal, and inbreeding exposes harmful recessive gene. So after the harmful recessive gene has been exposed, it can be eliminated by selection. So see, if in the F2 generation you got that is a genetic, let's say, disease, that is a diseased animal, then you know that now this has recessive RR or whatever, it has that disease gene. So since now you know that it has disease gene, you will eliminate it by natural selection. That is, you won't mate it further. Like you will mate the ones which have the dominant gene, right? And then slowly again the next time you are going to all the recessive ones, completely recessive ones, you can keep eliminating naturally, and you can choose more dominant ones. And as you go, that is accumulation of superior genes and elimination of less desirable genes will occur. Okay, so therefore this approach, where there is selection at each step, increases the productivity of inbred population. So productivity of inbred population will increase because you are while inbreeding you realize that okay, these are the disease genes, and these have been found in this, these animals I've eliminated, and these there is this gene is not there, superior gene is there, so I bred two superior genes, I'll get another, that is the third one will be superior, and then again I'll breed two superior genes, and I'll keep continuing, so the productivity will increase obviously. However, continued inbreeding, especially close inbreeding, usually reduces fertility and even productivity. So over time, inbreeding depression was there in sexual reproduction in plants also, wherein in clistogamous flowers, that is continuous autogamy used to take place, and there was assured seed set in common lina. So over there also we saw inbreeding depression, because of which after a certain period of time, that is you had to do emasculation and all, or else that is bagging and all, or else you had to like the flower itself developed in that is outbreeding devices, uh, so as to like prevent inbreeding depression from happening. So if inbreeding depression happens, then the fertility also gets reduced and productivity gets reduced, and over time the species will get non-existent, that is will get extinct due to inbreeding depression, because no variations will be produced over many generations. So therefore whenever this kind of situation arises and it becomes a problem, then selected animals of the breeding population should be mated with unrelated superior animals of the same breed. This usually helps to restore the fertility and yield. So whenever this happens, that is if in one family there were two superior and two inferior ones, and we bred the two superior ones, and then we got more two superior ones, again we bred two superior ones, then inbreeding depression will start happening. So then we have to see that in the same breed, two unrelated superior animals, that is those that were not born from the same ye, or not were directly related, uh, we should breed them, and this will help us to restore fertility and yield. Outbreeding is the breeding of unrelated animals, which may be between individuals of the same breed but having no common ancestors for 4 to 6 generation. This is called as outcrossing, or between different breeds, which is called as crossbreeding, or different species, which is called as interspecific hybridization. So what is inbreeding? Inbreeding is between two animals having the common that is inbreeding is that is breeding of two animals for having common ancestor or common closely related individuals within the same breed for 4 to 6 generation. That is called as inbreeding. Outbreeding is the breeding of two unrelated animals if they are of the same breed but having no common that is individual, that is no common ancestors for 4 to 6 generation, then it is called as outbreeding. But outcrossing, in outbreeding between different breeds, crossbreeding, and between different species, interspecific hybridization. Outcrossing is the practice of mating of animals within the same breed but having no common ancestors on either side of their pedigree up to 4 to 6 generations. So if breeding takes place in the same breed but does not have any common ancestor for up to 4 to 6 generation, then that is called as outcrossing. The offspring of such a mating is known as an outcross. It is the best breeding method for animals that are below average in productivity in milk production, growth rate in beef, cattle, etc. A single outcross often helps to overcome inbreeding depression. So here we read now about inbreeding depression. So in inbreeding depression, that is 4 to 6 generations, every time there was a common ancestor and directly related individuals were that is kept breeding again and again and again and again. So in outcrossing, what will happen? That is, two animals of the same breed will be mating, but they won't be having any common ancestors up to 4 to 6 generations. So therefore this will help, that is produce little bit variation, and basically productivity will increase, and inbreeding depression, that is single outcross, can overcome inbreeding depression. Crossbreeding is between two different breeds. So superior males of one breed are matched with superior females of another breed. Crossbreeding allows the desirable qualities of two different breeds to be combined. The progeny hybrid animals may themselves be used for commercial production. Alternatively, they may be subjected to some form of inbreeding and selection to develop a new stable breeds that may be superior to the existing breeds. So there are so many breeds which are not directly, that is from American, that is bulldog. There were so many different animals like that. I think bull terrier and many other pugs are also like not directly purebred. So they have been made by crossbreeding, and after crossbreeding, that is, uh, uh, when you get the organism after crossbreeding, then the you can breed that is inbreed between that what can you say, animal that you got from crossbreeding. Let's say you got two, that is, you crossbreeded twice and you got two animals. Now they belong to the same breed. You inbreed between them and you can create a new stable breed itself, and that may be superior to the existing breeds. Many new animal breeds have been developed by this approach. Hizardale is a new breed of sheep which is developed in Punjab by crossing the Bikaneri Ewes and Merino Rams. Hizardale, this is also important. Progeny hybrid may themselves be used for commercial production, or they may be subjected to some form of inbreeding and develop new stable breeds. Now, interspecific hybridization, that is breeding between two different species. In this method, male and female animals of two different related species are mated. In some cases, progeny may combine desirable features of both the parents and may be of desirable economic value. Example is mule. Do you know what cross leads to the production of mule? Mule is, I think, donkey and horse, and it is sterile in nature. It's stable, but it is sterile. Okay, after that, controlled breeding experiments are carried out using artificial insemination. In reproductive health, we had learned artificial insemination. The semen is collected from the male that is chosen as a parent and injected into the reproductive tract of the selected female by the breeder. The semen may be used immediately or can be frozen and used at a later date. It can also be transported in a frozen form to where the female is housed. In this way, desirable mating are carried. Artificial insemination helps us to overcome several problems of normal matings. So basically, it will be a lot of problem, right? Uh, from like two farms you'll have to meet, and then they'll have to mate. So it's a long process. So basically, in this way, by artificial insemination, you don't have to carry the cattle all the way around to wherever, that is, or looking in search for someone else having another uh, different breed of cattle, so that variation can be introduced and all those things. So no need for all that. Controlled breeding experiments can be carried out using artificial insemination. That is, you can locate desirable animal, and then you can collect the semen from the male chosen as a parent, and you can send it the to the female to inject it into the genital tract of the female. This is a nightmare. Huh. Reproductive tract of the female, and it can be either used immediately, or it can be frozen and used at a later date. It can also be transported in the frozen form to another farm where the female is housed. In this way, desirable mating are carried. Often the success rate of crossing mature male and female animals is fairly low, even though artificial insemination is carried out. To improve chances of successful production of hybrids, other means are also used. Example, multiple. So since they are hybrids, it's difficult because they are two different breeds. So multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, MOET, is also used, uh, is one such program for herd improvement. A cow administered hormones with FSH like activity to induce follicular maturation and superovulation. Instead of one egg which they normally yield per cycle, they produce 6 to 8 eggs. The animal is either mated with an elite bull or artificially inseminated. The fertilized egg at 8 to 32 cell stage are recovered non-surgically and transferred to surrogate mothers. The genetic mother is available for another round of super ovulation. This technology has been demonstrated for cattle, sheep, rabbits, buffaloes, mares, etc. High milk yielding breeds of females and high quality lean meat with less lipid meat yielding bulls have been bred successfully to increase herd size in a short time. So basically, the success rate of mature male and female animals crossing is low even with artificial insemination. To improve this, another new technology has been is being used. It is called as multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. Multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, MOET. It is one such program for herd improvement. In MOET, that is multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, a cow is administered with hormones which have FSH-like activity. You know FSH, that is secreted by anterior pituitary, was follicle stimulating hormone, which in the ovary of females and testes of males, basically the follicular growth took place in females, and in males, that is meiosis, sperms were formed, right, from spermatogonia cells. So, MOET, multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, is one such program for herd improvement, and FSH-like activity hormones induce follicular maturation and superovulation. Instead of one egg which a cow yields normally per cycle, the cow produces 6 to 8 eggs, and that is, animal produces 6 to 8 eggs, and then it is mated with an elite bull or artificially inseminated. The fertilized egg at 8 to 32 cell stage are then non-surgically transferred to surrogate mothers, and then the genetic mother is again available for another round of superovulation. This technology has been demonstrated for cattle, sheep, rabbits, buffaloes, mares, etc. and high milk yielding breeds of female and high quality, that is lean meat with less lipid meat yielding bulls have been bred successfully to increase herd size in a short time. Beekeeping. Beekeeping or apiculture is the maintenance of hives of honeybees for the production of honey. Beekeeping has been an age-old cottage industry. Honey is a food of high nutritive value and also finds use in indigenous systems of medicine. Honeybee also produces beeswax, which finds many uses in industry, such as in the preparation of cosmetics and polishes of various kinds. So beekeeping is also called as apiculture. Beekeeping is also called as apiculture. It is the maintenance of hives of honeybees for the production of honey. So dairy keeping was for good yield of milk. Then poultry was for good yield of meat as well as that is eggs. Now beekeeping is or apiculture is maintenance of hives and honeybees for the production of honey, and this has been apiculture has been an age-old cottage industry. Honey is a food of high nutritive value and also finds its use in indigenous systems of medicine. Honeybee also produces beeswax, which finds many uses in industry, such as in the preparation of cosmetics and polishes of various kinds. Increased demand of honey has led to large-scale beekeeping practices. It has become an established income generating industry. Whether practiced on a small or a large scale, beekeeping can be practiced in any area where there are sufficient bee pastures of some wild shrubs, um, fruit orchards and cultivated crops. There are several species of honeybees which can be reared. Of these, the most common species is Apis indica. Beehives can be kept in one's courtyard, on the veranda of house, or even on the roof. Beekeeping is not that labor intensive. Beekeeping, though relatively easy, does require some specialized knowledge, and there are several organizations that teach beekeeping. The following points are important for successful beekeeping: knowledge of nature and habits of honeybees, selection of suitable location for keeping the beehives, catching and hiving of swarms or this group of bees, management of beehives during different seasons, and handling and collection of honey and of beeswax. Bees are the pollinators of many of our crop species such as sunflower, brassica, apple and pear. Keeping beehives in crop fields during flowering period increases pollination efficiency and improves the yield. That is, it is beneficial both from the point of view of crop yield and honey yield. So honeybee also produce beeswax, which helps that is useful in the preparation of cosmetics and polishes. Increased demand of honey has led to large scale beekeeping practices. And it has led to large scale, whether small or large scale, it can be practiced in any area where there is sufficient bee pastures of some wild shrubs, fruit orchards, cultivated crops. Several species of honeybees which can be reared. Most common is Apis indica. Then it can be on the veranda or roof. It is not labor intensive. Beekeeping is relatively easy. Still it requires some specialized knowledge, and therefore beekeeping organizations are there uh, which teach the art of beekeeping. So you have to know the knowledge and nature and habits of that is the bees, selection of suitable location for keeping the bees, catching and hiving of swarms of bees, then management of beehives during different seasons, and handling and collection of bee and honey and beeswax. Bees are pollinators of many crops, that is sunflower, brassica, apple and pear. So therefore keeping the beehives near the crop field is going to be very much efficient for that is will improve the yield, that is from the point of view of crop yield as well as honey yield. Now we come to fisheries. Fishery is an industry devoted to catching, processing or selling of fish, shellfish and other aquatic animals, crustaceans and mollusks and all. So catching, processing and selling of fish, shellfish, other animals. Large number of our population is dependent on fish, fish products and other aquatic animals such as prawn, crab, lobster, edible oyster, etc. for food. Some of the freshwater fishes which are very common include katla, rohu and common carp. So whatever freshwater fishes, katla, rohu, common carp. Marine water are hilsa, sardines, mackerel and pomfrets. This is very important to remember. That is fishery. What is fishery? It is an industry devoted to catching, processing or selling of fish, shellfish and other aquatic animals. Large number of our population is dependent on fish products and other aquatic animals such as prawn, crab, lobster, edible oyster, etc. for food. Some of the freshwater fishes are Katla, rohu and common carp. They are freshwater fishes. Katla, rohu and common carp. What are the marine water fishes? Hilsa, sardine, mackerel and pomfret. Now, fishes has an important place in Indian economy. It provides income and employment to millions of fishermen and farmers, particularly in the coastal states. For many, it is the only source of their livelihood. In order to meet the increasing demands on fisheries, different techniques have been employed to increase production. For example, through aquaculture and pisciculture, we have been able to increase the production of aquatic plants and animals, both freshwater and marine. So fisheries have an important place in Indian economy. It provides income and employment to millions of fishermen and farmers, particularly in the coastal areas. For many, it is the only source of their livelihood. In order to meet the increasing demands on fisheries, different techniques have been employed to increase production. Through aquaculture and pisciculture, we have increased the production of aquatic plants. So basically, Indian economy में fisheries का बहुत important role है, जगह है, and fisheries, that is in this you can say industry or line of, that is work, there is a lot of that is employment to millions of fishermen and farmers in coastal states especially. So it is the only source of their livelihood for many people. So therefore, in order to meet the increasing demands of fisheries, different techniques have been employed to increase the production. And aquaculture and pisciculture have been able to increase the production of aquatic plants and animals, both freshwater and marine. And this has led to the development of flourishing of the fishery industry. It has brought a lot of income to the farmers in particular and country in general as well. So basically, we say fish, that is pisciculture, it is obviously related to fishes, that is the rearing, catching, everything of fishes. Aquaculture, all other aquatic animals. Now we talk about blue revolution as being implemented along the same lines as green revolution. I think white revolution was for dairy products. Green revolution is obviously for, that is your farm, that is in Punjab, Haryana, that is when green revolution took place due to plant hybridization and all. And blue revolution, now we talk for blue revolution regarding your fisheries. Plant breeding. Let's do till here, then we'll, it's a big chapter. Yeah, lot more to do. एक क्लास में नहीं होगा, मतलब एक वीडियो में तो नहीं होगा. Plant breeding is a very big part. Plant breeding. Traditional farming can only yield a limited biomass as food for humans and animals. Better management practices and increase in acreage can increase yield, but only to a limited extent. Plant breeding as a technology has helped increase yields to a very large extent. Who in India has not heard of Green Revolution, which was responsible for our country to not merely meet the national requirements in food production, but also helped us to even to export it. Green Revolution was dependent to a large extent on plant breeding techniques for development of high yielding and disease resistant varieties in wheat, rice, maize, etc. So traditional farming can yield a limited biomass as food for animals and humans, but better management practices, increase in acreage, more yield, and disease resistant or disease free, as well as nowadays, that is for specific insects also and pests also, that is different kind of plants genetically and through hybridization we have been producing. So Green Revolution everyone has heard. it merely not just met like the economical requirements or national requirements in food production, but also we exported it. So it was dependent to a large extent on plant breeding techniques and development for high yielding and disease resistant varieties of wheat, rice, maize, etc. Now what is plant breeding? Plant breeding is the purposeful manipulation of plant species in order to create desired plant types that are better suited for cultivation and give better yields, and they are disease resistant. Okay, so plant breeding is the purposeful manipulation of a plant species so that we can create desired plant types which are better suited for cultivation, and they give better yield, and they are disease resistant. Conventional plant breeding has been practiced for thousands of years since the beginning of human civilization. Recorded evidence of plant breeding dates back to 9,000 to 11,000 years ago. Many present day crops are the result of domestication in ancient times. Today, all our major food crops are derived from domesticated varieties. Classical plant breeding involves crossing or hybridization of pure lines, followed by artificial selection to produce plants with desirable traits of higher yield, nutrition, and resistance to diseases. So today, all our major food crops are derived from domesticated varieties. All our major food crops are domesticated varieties. Classical plant breeding involves crossing or hybridization of pure lines. So what is classical plant breeding? Classical plant breeding involves crossing or hybridization of pure lines followed by artificial selection to produce plants with desirable traits of higher yield, nutrition, and resistance to diseases. So similarly, what we saw in breeding, right? The same thing. That is, you purposely, that is in classical plant breeding, you breed pure lines, what Mendel did for peas, and then you naturally later on select the plants with the most desirable traits. So I took pure lines, that is for 4 to 6 generation, no variation, that is everything, all the characteristics and everything, genotypic phenotypic ratio, everything was same. I took that then I breeded those two pure lines, and then the progeny that I got, of them I chose the ones which were disease resistant and desirable traits, that is disease resistant, higher yield, nutrition, and this is classical plant breeding. With advancements in genetic, molecular biology, and tissue culture, plant breeding is now increasingly being carried out by using molecular genetic tools. So with advancements in genetic, molecular biology, and tissue culture, plant breeding is now increasingly being carried out using molecular genetic tools. If we were to list the traits or characters that the breeders have tried to incorporate into crop plants, the first we would list would be increased crop yield and improved quality. So, if we were to list the traits or characters that breeders have tried to incorporate into crop plants, then first we would list increased crop yield and improved quality, then increased tolerance to environmental stresses such as salinity, that is extreme salt concentration, then extreme temperature, hot or cold, droughts, that is no water, dehydration, resistance to pathogens, then virus, fungi, which include virus, fungi, bacteria. What is pathogen? Disease causing organism. And increased tolerance to insect pests would be in our list too. So I told you now that nowadays, that is whether it be pathogen, whether it be insects and pests, or along with like disease resistant, all these pest resistant and insect resistant specific species also, new kinds of with plant breeding programs and this molecular biology and tissue culture, we can make such crops. Plant breeding programs are carried out in a systematic way worldwide in government institutions and commercial companies. So what are the main steps in breeding new genetic variety? Let's do this in next year. If we start now, then we'll have to finish the entire thing. We'll do it next. It's in continuation only, entire part. Okay. So I'll upload. So I deleted the last two S block videos due to audio issues. That is, it wasn't audible at all. So I will just post another video having the entire S block. Hopefully, that is the revision that is starting to end. It will be a little bit fast, but the kind of speed that I had today, same speed, and I'll try to cover the entire chapter. Thank you.